Yo, yo.
Ajá,
Ajá.
¿cómo empieza esto? ¿Así?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
yes,
Oh, yes.
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
¿Qué es la que hay, Corillo?
Wow.
Bienvenidos a
Garabatos
Cas. Y aquí con
Uy.
ustedes, papi.
Uy, esto está.
Estamos. Me siento fresh. Si nos estamos perdiendo en el background, es culpa de la que nos hizo la suera. Corillo. Ok, aquí siempre con ustedes, por supuesto, a sus anfitriones, nada más y nada menos que yo, Garabato. Y como siempre le pido a nuestro público que vive adentro de este hermoso revolú, que me lo reciban con un fuerte aplauso, por supuesto, a Dímelo, Emma. ¡Ey, no te quites la camisa! Baja, dale. ¡Ey, no! Se está tirando. Por favor, con calma.
Pero no es por mí.
No es por nosotros. Esto de hoy no es por nosotros.
Vamos a explicar por qué fue esa.
Porque fue la reacción. Baja.
Mira,
Ok.
prometió y cumplió.
Prometió y cumplió.
¡Uh!
Corillo, hace casi, como digo yo, casi un mes atrás, nosotros tuvimos en nuestro hermoso y querido podcast a un individuo que estaba con las aspiraciones de correr para alcalde, ¿verdad? No quiero decir emperador, gobernador, líder supremo, no. Alcalde de la ciudad de Holyoke. Yo quiero que ahora otra vez, como mismo me aplaudieron a esto, un poquito más fuerte, me reciban a Joshua Garcia, el alcalde de Holyoke.
Muchas gracias a ustedes.
¡Congratulations!
Thank you.
Wow.
¡Wow!
We made it.
Tacho, lo logramos, mano. Eso fue, te estoy diciendo que llegó noviembre 2 y desde por la mañana yo amanecí así, mira. Papito Dios, yo no te pido mucho, pero nosotros necesitamos nuestra cultura ahí arriba. Sí, los dos. Yo lo estaba pidiendo en inglés, español, este lo estaba pidiendo en español. Pero se dio. ¿Qué se siente, Joshua, ahora estar en esa posición?
It's a very humbling experience. When I got elected, you got to understand, it's a challenge for a Puerto Rican to get elected in Holyoke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think of the cultural makeup, we have a community that's divided by income,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on how much money you make determines what neighborhood you live in. And neighborhoods that are higher in income are very white and affluent neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been hard for Hispanic candidates to gain citywide elected office in Holyoke, mayor or at-large city councilor. And when you look at the results on how the voters of Holyoke overwhelmingly chose me, Joshua Garcia, whether if you live in West Holyoke in the very white neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
or down in South Holyoke, donde está todo los boricuas,
Chacho, sí.
they chose a Holyoker.
Yes.
And it makes me feel really good. I'm proud.
Hacho, no, y que no tan solo fuiste tú, que hubieron
Yeah.
un sinnúmero de otros candidatos puertorriqueños que también ganaron, que yo dije, como dice mi pana Montana, nos quedamos con la ciudad.
It was a movement.
Yeah. Mira, Joshua, vamos a hablar un poquito serio porque hay una foto épica.
Ajá.
Épica. Y quiero saber que tú estabas. ¿Qué pensaste en esos momentos? Porque esa foto a mí me conmovió. Y yo quisiera saber en qué pensaste cuando viste. En este momento, ¿qué estabas pensando?
Sí.
That's my mother, and it was a very special moment. Very special moment. So mi familia son de Arroyo y Padillas, Puerto Rico. Although my mother was born in Alto Rey, but the family, and she grew up in Arroyo, and we got family also in Patillas. And we had family that traveled.
Wow.
We had like 10,
qué
15
duro.
relatives that came. They brought the elections of how they campaign in Puerto Rico. They brought it to Holyoke.
Wow.
Eso fue un momento bien especial, bien
It was a very
brutal.
special moment.
No, yo la vi y yo dice, bueno, historia.
Sí.
Nosotros la vimos y yo dice, wow, tengo que preguntarle.
Sí.
Yeah, it's a very special. You know, my mother. We're we grew up poor. We didn't have a lot of money. We grew up in South Holyoke on Summer Street. And for my mother to see this opportunity, her son take on the role as mayor in a community like Holyoke, for her is a very proud moment as a mother. And when she's happy, I'm happy. So.
Nice. Eso es bueno. Ahora, Joshua, ¿qué se siente diferente ya de no ser que digan
serve as strong representatives to the mayor's office on those particular issues. So that's what we're working on. There's a lot of internal things, day-to-day city management concerns that I'm trying to wrap my head around, so that when we go into the new budget year and into the summertime, that we're putting something together that works for the community. There's a lot of work. Every minute and hour of my time is it's really hard to stay focused. But nevertheless, it's a very exciting opportunity. I'm looking forward to actually get some stuff done.
Bueno, que aquí fuera del aire le estabas contando a Emma que el día tuyo empieza desde que dejas los nenes tuyos a 7:25 hasta a veces 9 p.m., 10.
If I didn't have to come here, I'd still be in the office. Trying to catch up.
Gracias por venir.
Gracias, de verdad que sí. Yo tengo una pregunta. ¿Ya tienes en mente con qué vas a empezar? ¿Qué proyecto vas a empezar a trabajar?
Not yet. There's a lot of projects in the pipeline that are coming, and it's very exciting things. Holyoke, in the next 3 to 5 years, it's gonna look and feel different. There's a lot of new downtown revitalization infrastructure projects, from the streetscapes and the conditions of streets and sidewalks that we're working on, to how parks are being maintained. We're obviously trying to prioritize programs for youth so we can get the kids off the streets and engaged in positive activities. There's a lot of money coming from the federal government to the city of Holyoke, that the team, we have an economic development and planning team and other peoples at City Hall that are working on all sorts of design phase plans to get it ready for construction phase when the money is available. So what I want to do is put an infrastructure inside City Hall that supports their projects. And that's where the problem is. The last time I was here, I was telling you that management was a problem. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of fun and people who are doing good work, but the problem is that the internal operation is not supporting their work. So while we wait for these resources, I'm going to do what I can to be sure that we build the capacity at City Hall that supports the important work that they're doing for the community. But there's so many things happening to wrap my head around in just a few short weeks. But I do look forward to come back in the very near future to share with you some progress that's going on in Holyoke.
Lo esperamos. ¿Y cuánto, usualmente cuánto es el tiempo que dura esto es medio ignorante lo que voy a decir, que un alcalde Te robé la pregunta. Mala mía, brother. Mala mía. ¿Cuánto tiempo más o menos que dura uno antes de que tengas que volver otra vez a correr para ser alcalde?
4 años.
4 años, cada 4 años. Okay.
¿Cuánto tiempo un alcalde puede estar en el poder?
For as long as...
Puede seguir corriendo.
Sigue corriendo. And as long as you get elected by the people, it's not like president, you can only serve 2 terms.
No, tú sigues por ahí.
You can keep serving more terms as long as the people
elect
you.
Tú estás planeando...
Ask me in 8 years.
En 8 años, está bien. No, yo sé que en 8 años me vas a decir, papi, voy a seguir ahí corriendo. Ahora te ve que entraste bien chamaquito. Cuando tú viniste aquí a la primera entrevista, te veías como que tenías un montón de presión. Como que hay que llegar a ese finish line. We gotta make it there. Ahora yo te veo, tienes un swagger de Dios madre. Estás ahí, estás hecho, y bueno, anda con Montana como siempre. Que hay unas cosas que nosotros nos hubiera gustado, porque hay dudas del último podcast, que nos quedamos con la duda de la famosa pregunta del jodido pastel con barbecue.
Did you try it?
No, yo quiero tratarlo, pero que lo podemos ir a tu restaurante, montar y tratarlo.
Yo me he hecho traer los pasteles para que los traiga.
Vamos para el restaurante tuyo y lo vamos a tratar para hacer un blog para de esto de nosotros.
With barbecue sauce.
Sí, hay que tratarlo, porque vas a dejar con esa incógnita. Y dice, yo no lo quiero tratar hasta que lo trate con Joshua ahí, sentarse garabato con él. Vamos a ver a qué sabe esto. Ahora, no se te ha presentado, porque sé que siempre ahora las elecciones, yo me paso viendo muchas noticias, y cada vez que cogen un candidato siempre hay alguien, un fulano que dice, tienen que averiguar eso de nuevo porque fulano no pudo llegar ahí. ¿No te has encontrado con ese problema? De gente asking the results of the election.
That if
there was like legit, because I see something on
there was no, everybody accepted the results.
Wow.
And so this was a historic race, that not only was there a Puerto Rican candidate that won, but it was the first time where 2 candidates were actually very respectful.
Okay.
And there were a lot of people who voted for the other candidate, that when I won, they were like, I really like that guy. Let's see how he does.
Good.
There hasn't been like a tension, like a group of people saying, we don't want him, he's terrible. You know what I mean?
So casi algo
It's been very
easy.
supportive.
Good,
very
good,
supportive.
Good.
I haven't had any issues yet. I haven't broken anything. Haven't been there long enough, but
No.
There hasn't been any doubt in the community since the results came out.
Okay, nice. Y como digo, como tu señora, tu esposa, tus hijos, ¿cómo se están acostumbrando? ¿Tu esposa te dice Mayor o todavía te dice Joshua?
My kids don't.
Papi, está bien, tiene un trabajo nuevo, new job.
My kids don't really, obviously they're proud, but they don't, they're not, they're just like, okay, no big deal. My wife is very proud, but I got to find some way to find a balance so I can spend more time with my family. That's the number one struggle I've been having so far. Remember, I told you, I've been coming home 8, 9 o'clock at night every day. Mm-hmm. And I did tell my team that after the holidays, we need to figure out how to block in my schedule family time, so that I don't become the mayor that, that loses his family in the middle.
Exactly. Y yo creo que en la vida tiene que haber balance para todo. Como lo mismo, muchos de los muchachos aquí trabajamos, we work long hours. Ahora mismo yo vine de trabajar, un shower y para acá adentro, y mi esposa...
Pero cuando
sí,
no vas a venir para acá para comer.
Sí, yo literalmente vivo a 7 pasos de aquí. Pero
I mean, even right now, I said, hey, I got this podcast, and then after the podcast, I'm gonna get dressed because I want to go to some activities that are going on in the evening in Holyoke, so I can re-engage with the public.
Eso es bueno.
And my wife's just like, wait a minute, it's Friday night, you're not staying home, and I'm like, well.
¿Y no te la traíste?
No,
okay.
yo me voy a apuntar para ese jangueo.
Si yo no tuviera que trabajar mañana, me
when does this get aired? Tomorrow or today?
¿Cuándo soltamos esto?
El audio se puede hacer mañana sábado, el video Sunday.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, if you were listening today, we're going to be at Karaoke in South Holyoke. Then we're going to Calle on Main Street and Jibaritos and Boogaloo on High Street.
Un jangueo bravo.
We're gonna do a little. We call it the
Yo me
tour.
apunté.
Está bien, tú vas y representas por nosotros.
Te llamamos el lunes.
Ok, ahora, ya que me dijiste que estás buscando cómo situar tiempo para tu familia y todo, ¿piensas que el trabajo se va a hacer más fácil o va a ser un poco más difícil?
You know, the work is always going to be what it is. It's just finding the balance, trying to find the rhythm. The work is always going to be hard because things change all the time. There's always a new issue, a new challenge, a new emergency, a new what puts the test to the manager or to the mayor is how you respond to that and offer balance between what you do and spend time with your family. So those are just little challenges that people in this position, whether if you're a mayor, a business owner of a large company, the governor, of the state, or the president of the United States, the job is always hard. You just got to be ready to respond on how you navigate those challenges with patience, with professionalism, and with respect to the people you serve that you got to respond to and the people you got to take care of at home. So I think over time, as things start to settle down just a little bit and we find our space, it can be a little easy, but it doesn't mean that things aren't going to be they're not going to be that easy. They're always going to be difficult. So we'll see. In a couple months when I come back, I'll let you know how we're doing.
Pregunta, decirle, Joshua, ¿cómo te fue el trabajo? Tienes un par de canitas más ahora, ¿viste? No, porque eso es por ley de que le salgan a uno canas por el estrés y todo eso. Ahora, otra de las preguntas que me gustaría hacerte, esto del virus, que obviamente este virus parece que no se quiere ir. Cada mes es una variante nueva. ¿Cuál es el variante de la nueva? Omicron.
Omicron.
Gracias, Glenn, tú eres el mejor. Pues Omicron, esto representa algún tipo de, ¿cómo digo?, de obstáculo para tú poder lograr ciertas de las metas que tú tienes. Van a seguir como te digo, van a seguir esas mismas restrictions, como de estar usando máscara, el distanciamiento, cómo esto va a cambiar algunos planes que tú tengas.
You're talking about COVID?
Yeah.
COVID
Lo que nunca se va. COVID.
So as a leader in my community, it's going to be my job to do what I can to maintain the greater safety of our community. And when it comes to issues around COVID, I do what I can to encourage people to practice the guidelines, right? Socially distance, wear a mask when you can, wash your hands. In fact, next week, Thursday, the school superintendent of the Holyoke schools, Anthony Soto, is getting his booster shot, and I'm getting my booster shot. I'm getting my twins vaccinated, and he's getting his son vaccinated. We're going to do it together, and we're going to do like a press conference so that we can continue to encourage the public that, it's not a mandate, but we encourage you to do so because the problem is still here, and we want to keep you and your family and the rest of the community safe. Please wear your mask. Please wash your hands, socially distance, and get your shots. So we're going to continue to push that message out there in the community. We're looking at the data trends. Every day, the Board of Health sends me how we're doing, how many cases we have in Holyoke. And there was a slight rise because of the Thanksgiving weekend. And now the holidays are coming up, and we're looking at those numbers. If they continue to rise at the way they are, then we have to do the mask mandate. Okay. Just to get us through the holidays. But if folks are doing their guidelines and we keep the numbers low, then we don't have to do the mask mandate. So those are the things we look at as leaders and make those decisions.
Chévere.
Actualmente es mandatorio la vacuna del COVID para trabajar, ¿no?
No.
Okay. So, los que se están preguntando si tienen que estar vacunados para trabajar, no, pero
not in Holyoke. I don't
Holyoke,
think municipalities are making it a mandate. And it all depends on the numbers. If we go backwards to where we started, maybe the state will require or make it a mandate for towns and cities to make it a mandate. But you know, who knows? We'll see. We'll see what direction we go.
Chacho, eso que social distancing. Si se quieren vacunar, vacúnense.
Wear your mask.
Pónganse la careta, lávense las manos.
No, ahora viene una pregunta seria.
Serio.
Sí. Pero espérate, ¿qué pasa aquí? Del mundo se asusta. Ok. ¿Escuchaste ya el CD de Anuel?
Yeah, there's a new Jay-Z and Anuel song?
No, el disco de Anuel nuevo.
El disco de Anuel.
There's a new...
Yeah, pues no lo he escuchado entonces.
No la he escuchado, pero te recomiendo, si la vas a escuchar, ponte unos audífonos.
Sí, está un poquito fuerte.
I haven't heard it yet. Is
it's
it good?
good.
Is it
¿Tienes
good?
algún artista de reggaetón que te gusta?
I like it all, man. I like the
gusta?
classics from when I was in middle school.
Don Omar.
Don Omar. You know, I'm 35 now, so my early, when I was like 18, 19, 20, it's when reggaeton started coming mainstream. You know, when we seen Yandel first, you know, started coming out popular, and Daddy Yankee, and you know, all those.
Los pioneros. Yeah.
The old school songs.
So
I'm not too big of a fan of the new stuff that's coming out. But you know, I like reggaeton.
So, ¿has bailado reggaetón?
Oh, absolutely.
Hoy tú vas de jangueo.
Oh no! So every year the fire department, the Bombay, they do a fireman's ball. It's a very nice. You know, you go dressed up, fancy. It's an open bar. It's really nice. So I went to the ball. It was a couple of weeks ago, and it was the first time a mayor went to the fireman's ball in 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked when I heard that. Anyways, that's besides the point. After we ate and they did the ceremonies and everybody talked and I said some words, the music came on and it was time to dance. And they played I forget what song they were playing, but they played a Spanish reggaeton pop song. So I took my wife and we went out. We were dancing reggaeton.
¿Y hay video de eso?
Estamos peleando right there. No hay video. But everybody's looking like, oh, look at the mayor, like getting down and dirty with his wife with reggaeton.
Allá asegúrate 4 años más.
Sí.
Oh man, it's great.
Wow.
And then after that, we went to La Copa. You know La Copa Main Street? Have you heard of it? It's a bar.
Lo que no sepa allí.
So I'm dressed up with my 3-piece suit and a nice vest. My wife is beautiful with her dress. And we go to a bar on Main Street in Holyoke called La Copa. And we walk in and everyone's like, holy shit, the mayor is... the mayor is here with his wife. And we're all dressed up. It was 90s night. They were playing 90s music.
Wow.
And my wife and I started dancing right there in the bar, and everyone was just like, we can feel the eyeballs, like, oh my God, what's going on right now?
Pero qué chévere, porque entonces lo que Julio está sintiendo ahora mismo es como que al tipo que escogimos, a Joshua no lo cogimos y se olvidó de nosotros. Joshua lo cogimos y está jangueando con el pueblo.
La cosa es que I was always there. I've been involved in my community since I was a little kid. I've been going to the same restaurants, same programs. When I became of age, I went to the same spots. The only difference now is that I'm mayor. So people are like...
That's a title, Mayor Joshua Garcia.
So, you know, it's elevated.
So, sientes el amor y el cariño de todo el mundo.
Oh, my God. This is my community, man.
Yeah.
Holyoke is in the center of my heart, and we're going to do what we can to help the people of Holyoke. So, speaking of which, and I'm going to need your help for the people that are listening that are from Holyoke, that we have different boards and committees that are responsible for overseeing services and departments. And I want to make sure my administration is focused on making sure that we're appointing people that represent the community at large.
Okay.
No matter, you know, if you know, what language you speak or the color of your skin or where you live in Holyoke, we're trying to encourage more people to serve that never thought they would serve in government before. You know, that never thought that they'd be in such a position to offer direction and oversight to the fire department or to DPW, Department of Public Works, or Planning and Economic Development, Conservation, Council on Aging. There's all these departments that have volunteer boards. And if you live in Holyoke and you're a registered person in Holyoke, I want to, especially if you live in Flats or South Holyoke or somewhere downtown, and a person of color, we're looking for more people to step up and serve in boards that's never done it before, so that we can keep with our word to representation and equity and inclusion.
Okay, pues entonces no tienen que tener ningún tipo de experiencia, solo querer trabajar para la comunidad de ellos, ¿verdad?
Yeah, you gotta have time, because it's night meetings once a month, sometimes maybe 2 times. It's a board of Holyoke people that come together to oversee the operations of the department. Okay. So it'd be great to have some experience in the subject area, some experience in how to run meetings. You don't have to have a whole lot of experience, but just enough to go to the meetings and make decisions and do votes and then go home at the end of the day. Okay. But we want more people from our community that never served before to step up so that we can mix it up in City Hall.
Pues no te preocupes, cuenta con nosotros vamos a regar la palabra. So, ya muchachos, hay trabajo para hacer. ¿Cuánto llevamos, caballero?
26.
26 minutos. Yo pensaba que llevaba como 15 horas hablando ya.
It's fast, right?
Wow, se fue rápido el tiempo. Pues, ¿quieres ir cerrando? Porque tú eres el que está en la... ¿Una pregunta? Ok, dale. En los controles está Melo, por supuesto.
I'll say it in Spanish, in English.
Dilo en inglés, dale.
What percentage do you think this podcast helped you?
Oh, I don't know. Why? Do you have numbers for me?
No.
So listen, and I'm pretty sure. So we got really creative in how we were connecting with the community, and I know that this podcast helped me because we invested a lot on social media presence, and you can play with the algorithms where in the city people are watching, and we were very targeted and specific. We even were targeted and specific with the mailers. You know how you get the political stuff in the mail?
Yep.
In the Spanish neighborhoods, we only sent Spanish mail. It wasn't Spanish and English. It was only Spanish.
Oh, okay.
To communicate directly to that population. And then in the English neighborhoods, it wasn't English and Spanish. It was only English.
All right.
Because you got people that say, like, why is there Spanish here? It should be English all the time.
Wrong side.
Yeah.
And then you got boricuas that come here like, no me enseña nada en inglés. Spanish only. You know what I mean? They're very prideful about their culture. So we were targeted and specific. And we used, things like this. The tour that we do, that we're going to do tonight, for every Friday, including the Friday after Election Day, we did that. We went to karaoke, Jibaritos, Boogaloo, and Calle. These are Spanish social clubs.
Okay.
And so when we were present, we're there in the Spanish and people listening, in that crowd listening, getting the mailer, looking at the ads in their Facebook. We were always in their minds all the time, no matter where they went. Oh, Josh Garcia.
Sí, estuvo en todos lados. Estaba como el arroz blanco en todos lados.
So it helped because it was a part of the puzzle. To make sure that no matter when they woke up and went on with their day and they opened their phone, they turned on the radio, they look in their social media, they saw Josh Garcia. They go to their favorite bar in downtown, they saw Josh Garcia. So it helped. It helped a lot. It was an important part of the strategy.
Y yo creo que el podcast que nosotros hicimos contigo fue uno de los podcasts que tiene más play también. Yeah. So que mucha gente,
Really?
Nosotros nos encargamos de compartir mucho el mensaje porque para nosotros era importante que tú ganaras. Que tú ganaras porque hiciste historia y nosotros nos sentimos orgullosos en parte de decir, nosotros jugamos parte en esto que Joshua llegara allá. Aunque haya sido una pequeña mínima parte, pero
otra persona, pero...
And you know what's good about all of it is access, right? Like, if I wasn't the mayor, do you think that a mayor of Holyoke would ever come to this podcast?
Bueno, tienes que decir no a la misma vez, oyeron.
And then it's the same thing with the people down when we go to karaoke and I walk into that bar or to La Copa and people see me. Do you think that they'll ever see a mayor? And the fact that they can come up to me and say hi and say, hey, or talk to me about an issue they have, that's representation. Last time we were here and Montana was talking about, like, look, we have a population that doesn't get involved in politics because there's no connection. But now that there's a connection, people are getting motivated, they're getting inspired, they want to help, they feel good. And that's why it's important to have, representation. I mean, in 20 years, there's going to be another group culture, and they're going to need representation. And it's good that we have now access to connect with a mayor that can come to a Spanish podcast and just chill with you guys.
Nacho, sí, no, y lo agradecemos también. Y lo chévere es que tú estás joven. Estás joven. People could relate to you.
I went to another earlier. We had a podcast today at 2 o'clock.
Sí, con
Memín.
Memín. Saludo.
Memín, you know what I mean? It's like,
Memín, de toda la gente. Memín.
well, I went to high school with Memín.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and we all know the character Memín is.
Sí,
you know what I mean?
una
In my
persona.
mind, that's normal because where I grew up, Memín and Montana and all these guys, like you guys are normal dudes. But to someone who doesn't understand the culture, it's scary.
Sí, mira que uno hace como que, ¿en serio?
It's scary. It's like they don't take you seriously. They think you're a menace to society. You know what I mean? And it's not true. Like these are just people moving within their own cultures. So I did a podcast with Memín at a dispensary.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo estaba allí,
Daisy.
sí, yo estuve allí con él y... Sí.
I mean, like, would a mayor ever do that? Like, would the mayor of Springfield ever do that?
No, habría que preguntarle. Pero está chévere porque como tú dices, ahora que mencionaste Springfield, pues ya ahora en julio tenemos un grupo de puertorriqueños trabajando ahora para la comunidad y acá en Springfield también tenemos un otro grupo que yo me imagino que cuando ustedes unan fuerza.
Oh, my God.
Uf.
So another person you should reach out to, and maybe we can do this next month or in 2 months or whenever you guys ready, but Senator Adam Gomez.
Control esto, tienes que escribirle. Ya
Sen-
nosotros estamos en ese estaría chévere.
we got Senator Adam Gomez, the first Puerto Rican senator in Massachusetts.
Él es el que estuvo en la actividad de Jeremy.
Sí.
Estuvo en la
Yeah, he was
actividad
there.
de
He
Jeremy.
was there.
Yeah. I think he was the big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to high school with him.
You have State Representative Carlos Gonzalez,
Yep.
Puerto Rican. You have State Representative Orlando Ramos.
También lo conozco.
We have City Councilor at large de Holyoke, Israel Rivera. We got another City Councilor, Jenny Rivera of Ward 1, representing like flats in downtown.
Okay.
We got a Dominican kid in Will Puello, representing Ward 2 in South Holyoke.
Wow.
In Holyoke. It'd be great to invite them all. Come up
No, sí,
together.
estuviera chévere. Right through apuntate eso por ahí por la agenda, rompe enviar email.
Oh, Holyoke's main. We do have we have a newly elected councilor in Holyoke. Her name is Cocaine Givner. She's great. She's awesome. I know she's got the name Cocaine, and
Pausa. Cocaine.
her name is Cocaine.
Oh, ¿tú conoces a Cocaine?
I know he's great.
Cocaine. Cocaine is awesome, right? That sounds funny.
Cocaine is awesome.
But she's the first black person to serve on the council in Holyoke. That's history that nobody's really talking about.
Wow.
So,
But-
han hecho historia 2 veces.
We
Con-
hit history,
con
I think,
latino.
three times. Three times.
Wow.
His brother was the first Puerto Rican city councilor at large in 1990.
Wow.
What year? This is Melvin Sanchez. What's your brother's name again? Alex Sanchez.
Sanchez.
He was the first. His brother was the first elected Puerto Rican city councilor in Holyoke, 1991 at large. A position. It's hard to, like I told you, it's hard for a Latino to win citywide, and we haven't had an at-large Hispanic candidate in that council for a long time. But now we got 2 that got elected: Jose Maldonado and Israel Rivera.
Nice.
And then they elected their first black person, a woman of color, Cocaine Givner, to represent a neighborhood. Holyoke's making like a whole new firsts right now.
No,
And then their first Puerto Rican mayor. So
yeah.
it's
La gente quería cambio. La gente quería cambio.
Yeah.
the people spoke. The people spoke. It was a movement, and we're all very humbled by it. But now the work starts. Now we're gonna get down and dirty and show the world that Holyoke is a place where you can live, work, raise a family, bring your kids to schools there, and hang out. Like,
Chévere, mano.
my goal is for the next 10 years that when people grow up in Holyoke, that they don't even think about leaving, that this is a community we want to stay.
Nice.
When people, you're trying to open a business, you're trying to get into Holyoke. We want to change the current perception and make it destination for people to live, work, and raise a family.
Nice, mano, pues yo siempre he dicho que lo que es la cultura de nosotros los puertorriqueños tenemos ese saborcito, ese touch, que yo creo que esa es la diferencia que la gente estaba buscando. Ya se cansaron, como digo, vamos a tratar, let's try something different. Vamos a darle para que ellos breguen. Vamos a ver lo que ellos van a hacer, y yo sé que, Joshua, tú no le vas a quedar mal, tú vas a, como decimos aquí los boricuas, vamos a matar la liga. Vas a hacer tu trabajo. ¿Producción cuánto llevamos más o menos? 35, bueno.
Vamos.
Corillo, yo creo que nos podemos ir despidiendo. Joshua, unas palabritas que quieras decirle a la gente.
So my words is this. I want everybody to know, whether if you're living in the city of Holyoke or you live outside the city of Holyoke and considering moving to the community, that I understand the challenges that are ahead. For those that do live in the city, that look out their window and are concerned about the challenges that they're seeing outside their window, the issues that they're seeing when they try to take their children to a playground, my goal is to make your life just a little bit better. Just give me a little bit of time. And I'm confident that in time, we're going to be able to do what we can to address the quality of life issues that are impacting families, so that you feel good about the community you live in, so that you know that your mayor and the people you elected to represent you are doing what they can to make your lives just a little bit better.
Y con eso dicho, pues,
nos fuimos.
Yes, Corillo, una vez más, Joshua, gracias por venir. Espérate, Mayor Joshua, gracias por venir aquí a Garabato. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Alcalde, gracias por venir aquí a Garabato Podcast. Bueno, Corillo, recuerden que esto es brindado a ustedes por la gente de La Tripleta, que ahora están ubicados nuevamente en el Aquarius Nightclub. Si quieres probar las mejores tripletas, las papi plátano y estas artesanías que le dicen las piñas coladas, por supuesto, vete y visita a la gente de La Tripleta. Y si dices que es Garabato Podcast, pues te dan un 30% más de lo que tienes que pagar. No digas.
No, vacilando, no, vayan allá.
Vayan allá y soporten al hermano. ¿Quiénes más tenemos?
Twisted Cotton Apparel.
Ahí no está que te lo diga. Dilo. Twister the Movie.
Twister the Movie. La que es de un tornado.
Pues, Twisted.
Y si quieren comer también Fieras Bakery, se pueden comunicar al 413-250-5218. Pasen por ahí, que están ubicados en Infield Mall. Infield. Le da un close-up.
Corillo, y ya no se tienen que romper la cabeza buscándonos, porque nos pueden buscar en garabatopodcast.com. Así de fácil.
Y dímeloema.com.
Papito, estamos creciendo, poniéndonos profesionales. Y si no lo crees, pues recuerda que de todo Garabato siempre sale un arte. Y no me apoyes a mí, apoya al alcalde Joshua Garcia.